What is up, y'all? Sorry for the hiatus. We are back with another week of heat. So, this is gonna be week 6. I might add 7. Might be week 6. Might be week 7. Unintentional brain rot, but nonetheless, some games for you, right? So, was waiting on some games to happen. Some games didn't get played, so we might see 4 games of week 6 here and 3 on week 7. And any that tend to straggle, I will add on to the upcoming video for week 8. So, long time coming. I get to face the Heat Lord himself. And speaking of what we're doing here, we are in Gen 7, and it is a draft league with Z moves. So, you can expect to see things like hidden power, no dry pass, Z moves galore, and yeah, a whole bunch of different stuff, as well as heat. So, I'm here facing Lord Emvee, very scary team that they have here, and I chose to go with the team here. Now, it's been pretty fresh. Today is April 13th, and this game was played on March 8th, funny enough. So I've been trying to feed you guys as much heat as you guys could take. Yeah, but with that being said, let's look at the matchup, look at these videos. I'll go through each video and pretty much go off a lead prediction here. I don't even remember what I laid here, but seeing the matchup and giving my thoughts prior to press and play a little bit. So I'll be quick here. Master Hand, your boy here, aka Spazz, aka Kenny G. What do I want to do here versus this? I think I lead off with Tentacruel here. No, I don't. I just now remembered what these two are. Yeah, these two are my heat here. It's a pretty hard lead into most of these things. Likely Lando is a great lead. Could be Scarf on this. I could be Scarf myself. Hidden Power Ice is available for me, but I can see Yachi being a definite bring. I have Webs as well. Their team is pretty slow on their part for the most, but it does help my team for the most part too. So I think they go off with a Registeel lead, and I don't even remember what I would go. If they go Registeel, I would likely go Lando. So let's see how this goes. So I lead off with Narcolepsy here into their Electros. Get the +2. So I am a threat and a half. Earthquake is there to hit super effectively, but I am faster than Togekiss, fortunately. It does have the Rocky Helmet, which does whittle this down pretty well into the 30% range. Now, this could definitely revenge kill, and I think Vikavolt here, my Nightmare, or Natmare, is actually very good into Zygarde. With the Hidden Power Ice hitting off the Registeel and then it healing off, it's pretty nice. Coming into this, I do have, I believe, Rapid Spin too. I do. Ooh. Just get off those rocks, because the rocks here could be scary. So I am Scarf on this B, and it definitely does come in clutch. Now that Rock Slide probably didn't matter, but I mess up here. So on the previous turn, right, I was calcing their 1,000 arrows and their extreme speed into Landorus, but I forgot about the dragon type coverage, and I noticed that as soon as the turn played out beforehand. So Gin Juice gets sacked for free. Otherwise, it would have survived any +1 move. Maybe Bar Outrage, but I do have the Rocky Helmet on that, so that is clutch. So the Suicune here is going to turn out to be a threat, so I bring in Submerge. And if they have coverage to hit me, that's great on them. I get the toxic off. I can pretty much assume this could be rest. So I do get that off. And that shows to be hidden power, I believe, electric. So I do try to stop toxic stall as much as I can to bring this down into a range where something can possibly kill it. And there goes the rest, there goes the chest, and the chest is popping. So I get the flamethrower off as a last ditch effort to get some damage because I know I go down there if they were to be rest and toxic, whatnot. So I get the SD, very unpredictable. I can do a good amount of damage from here, but they do have the ability to 2-hit KO me whilst I go for a flinch to try to get some cheese hacks to help. But nonetheless, I will go down to the Suicune here on this Scald. So very well played by Emvee. Great team, great prep. Unfortunately, I did throw this away. Like, I did want to cover for the Scout on that, but did not. As far as heat, I brought the SD Tentacle. What do y'all think about that? Give me a heat rating yourself in the comments. As for Emvee here, pretty standard on the Zygarde. Lovely coverage on the Chesto Resto here. Didn't get to see what this was, but the Rocky helmet was very smart. Definitely whittled down Kamala. Kamala was supposed to do so much more. Didn't get to see anything else, so this was handily won by Emvee 4-0. Very well done. So let's go right on into the next one. I don't think I could reward heat specifically for the coverage, but still fire. That was very effective into the team. Like, just water, electric, water, anything, electric. Like, very nice. Okay, next we have Xamuel, coach of the Piggy guys, versus SpeedSapphire, coach of the Crimson Shurikens. Pretty scary teams here. This reminds me so much of a certain generation every time I see it. So they do have Mega Lopunny here, and some bulky boys Pursuit active, Wish Pass, very good pivot, especially in the Torn. Some shenanigans with Crest here in Cough. T-Spikes would be amazing into their team for every Groundedmon there is, aka Weavile, Hippo, and Mew. Getting rid of the Spike, or the Sash rather, and then just keeping this down. If you do get 2 with toxic damage, and Mew just being whatever it is, it's a good contingency to that threat. Lopunny could be really good here, outspeeding everything. So I do think they maybe go a bulkier variant for Mew. Crest, I see Ice Beam on Crest happening. Calm Mind actually looks good. If they happen to have Roar or Toxic, this cannot heal itself with the Lunar Blessing because it doesn't learn it yet. There is Heal Bell or Aromatherapy, however, so that could be very nice. I know Zam is pretty good on covering for things with the Toxic. Crook is really nice just overall to hitting into everything. Stone Edge, Dark Move, Earthquake, all goes crazy here. So this could be like almost any item. On the opposite spectrum here, yeah, I think a lot of Toxic comes out into play. Spikes as well. Their defog is on Florges here. Yeah, I think this is gonna be a Spikes heavy game. So as far as leads go, I can see maybe Cough lead or a Crook lead just to get off immense pressure. If they lead Hippo, that is good too. They'll have to pivot. I think Hippo's good. Hippo with Toxic. So let's go right into it. So Cofagrigus does come out. Rotom Heat is the lead here. Volt Switch straight up into the Klefki, and we see the immediate trick off on Sticky Barb. So spikes go up. Atem gets the Hex, just doing very good chip to Klefki. Alright, Sakura comes out into Rotom. Volt Switch shouldn't do much, but it is a crit. Once again, shouldn't do much at all. The Hidden Power. So we know it's not Rock. Hold on. What Hidden Power would this be? Maybe Fighting? Wait, no, it's not Fighting because it wasn't effective into Torn, or not very effective rather. Interesting. I don't think it's Water, but Bulk Up Torn is nice. I wonder if we see the item again. I feel like, did we do this match? So Wish is very good here. The Resto, Chesto, nice. That is very much heat. So, very powerful acrobatics, base 110 power now into the bulky boy. That does go down though. Knocking off the AV is very nice. Actually blind, not wearing my glasses, 1 sec. Yeah. So that Spike in Sand is gonna definitely rack up damage, enough to 2-hit KO from the range that Tim was at. Kaguya comes in, and the Toxic is there off of the Hippowdon, and they exchange Toxics as well. So there is no way to remove Toxic on either side. I don't believe Mew has aromatherapy. I might be wrong. Maybe Hillbell. But I think that Toxic is there to stay. The Barb is going crazy in the Magic Coat. Ah, I love it. I love it. I love that move. Bring back Magic Coat, because why is it even gone? Moonlight getting it back up. And Foul Play is not going to do nothing at all except hurt the Klefki down into the Sticky Barb range where it can just take a nap. Put your keys in your pocket. Alright, so bringing in Coda to probably sack. Getting in the clean Murko. And do we know what item this is yet? The Fake Out, crit, and the Sand is gonna hit. So that's good damage, very good damage. Good move into Kaguya there with the Levitate. Ice Beam should KO, but it is slower because, why? And the Moonlight is not gonna heal for much because of the Sand. I don't believe that healed for 50. Let's see. Nice. We're gonna pause real quick. There's a mosquito I gotta kill. Alright, my bad y'all. Alright, let's run it back into this play. So, the Earthquake is not gonna hit. And if they have coverage, which they don't, yeah, that's gonna heal only for 25 because of the Sand. And the Chip and the Toxic is gonna hurt. But nonetheless, gonna try to heal either way. There's a Volt Switch. Kaguya is fighting for its life. But they go Hippowdon. Unfortunately not getting the Sand, but getting the Slack off. And getting a now 50% Moonlight, but that Toxic is racking up. Another Moonlight here, but this is gonna bring it down into almost yellow, half. So Volt Switch to block, or Croak to block. Getting the Rocky Helmet off, they do risk getting hit by the Will-O-Wisp, but by the God's glory, they miss it. So I don't think this has rock coverage. Or it might not even be able to mix up its moves. Because rock into that would not be nice. So, they switch into this Thunderfang. Wow. Wow. What a heck of a predict. Toxic could have been nice there. Thunderfang likely just to chip that down. Was that the first reveal of it? Yeah, that was the first reveal. So they're in a great position. They get the Earthquake. This is Moxie. But is it able to switch up moves is the question. And Sub-Zero Slammer comes out there. Mew would naturally be faster if this is banded, but it is not. And I'm guessing the +1 Earthquake didn't do enough. Fake Out's gonna be the move there into return that should get the KO. Now this is gonna be kind of hard fought because Weave Out is gonna be slower. The overheat miss does probably matter there. Probably knocked it in range of Ice Shard if it does have it. Yeah, that overheat miss definitely came in clutch for Sapphire. So unfortunate, but very well played. Came down to the wire and then also RNG. So yeah, let's go over the teams here. I love that Zam here had the Resto Chesto. That is dope. Bulk up, acro, knockoff, rest. There was one time that they did bring no item acro or somebody in this, but yeah, I do love this. This is definitely getting some heat points. I want to say let's give this a heat rating of 2. Chesto Resto came into play, bulk up, rest, acro, knockoff was good coverage. Very well done, very well played. It just wasn't enough to take out Lantern because that boy bulky. Shout out to whoever you know, offered Lantern as the option. I think it was Emvee. But yeah, very well done, well played. Sub-Zero Slammer, nice. Everything else being pretty standard. The Sticky Barb, let's go to you. Sticky Barb trick was clean because you don't necessarily see Sticky Barb. Trick is one way to get it around, and yeah, I want to give this at least a heat rating of 1 because, you know, underused items and them having the effectiveness that they did have was crazy, just chipping out heavily. AV hidden power, I really wonder what hidden power this could have been. We know it wasn't fighting. Pursuit, this probably could have been played a little bit better, like if you just threw off damage. Regardless, you still won, but well done, well played. Like, I think you believe this does have the fear that you instilled like in previous games overall, which it should. And then the magic coat, that was heat. I'm so glad I saw that. A good consideration. I at least want to see a heat rating of 1 on this because it did pull off the spike into Clef Key, being excellent bait for most of thick mons and whatnot. So yeah, very well done. 1 and 1. Standard low punny. So good game between 2. Let's move on to the next one. All right, so here we have my guy Knightf3op, coach of the Los Angeles Azules, going up against Ketchhhhh, coach of the Salty Artillery. Now this is a very familiar team in OU. Like, each of these mons, maybe bar Slowbro. I think Slowbro was a good mon, but this is very Gen 7 coded. Like, you have your pivots, your regen core. Yeah, Slowbro was out there. You got your Skarm plus Clef, and then your Sand Abuse. Very, very well done, very well made. Not anything relies or really is a special defense wall bar T-Tar, and depending on your invest or item like Assault Vest. So good team composition, amazing team composition by Ketch here. My guy here does have the Mammo. Nothing appreciates Mammo. Maybe not even weakened Skarm. And I mean, Slowbro could take it well. This is pretty bulky defensively. Spadef it is lacking. So this team is pretty offensive into it. You have things like Focus Blast or Titanium Z, which is why I think this might be Chopple. The coverage on it is great. Tangrowth just has to go down, but it's not the bulkiest to begin with. So a Nasty Plot would wreck shop here. However, you do have the Clefable that could be very much unaware. You also have Scizor as a pivot, but this has Flamethrower coverage. Mandibuzz could go crazy here defensively. Just has to avoid getting toxic, I think. Has access to defog and 4 Mons here in the middle. Coco, I can't see Coco doing much here, but it is Coco, you know. It's one of the top picks for a reason. Zard X. Zard X could go crazy here, actually. Defensively, offensively, it could run mixed. It can do a lot of good stuff here, I think. And I believe this is Mega Bro, right? I might be correct into that. But yeah, nasty setup here. As far as the lead, we know Skarm's not going to be the move in front of the 2s there. You do have Coco, which threatens a lot. I can see Clefable as a good mid-ground lead into all these bar Scizor. Scizor, you do have your switch and pivots. But Scizor can do effective damage into everything that's not Skarmory. So yeah, I think the lead is Clef, pivot into Skarm if Scizor. Lead here could very well be Mamo or even Coco. In some instances, even Scizor. Like, yeah, Scizor could go crazy here. So let's see what the leads are. We see the Skarm and the Coco. So Xanor, Clefable goes right in here, and it's a free U-turn into Zard, Charizard. So Radiohead gets out of there. See a little star is in, and we get the Mega on Mega. So Toxic is a miss there. So this is a defensive Zard. Toxic on this is going to be crazy. If this has rest, good call. But it can't rest under terrain. That's one thing that is pretty clutch here. So that might actually cause Ketch to not bring rest. And yeah, just stalling it out between Roost and Sub. And we know that is Terrain Extender. Scizor, Red Rocket comes in, and the Stone Edge miss hurts. Nokia, if you know, you know, is out, and the Rocky Helmet is on the Skarm. Friday morning, meets another Charizard, and going into a Fire Week into another Fire Week is pretty scary, but good read on that. Just having the Flare Blitz doing massive damage, whether to yourself or not. You still have the Roost, which you have tons of. So this is actually just gonna get chipped down regardless. You have the slack offs too. Scald is gonna be doing enough to break, and this could either get burned or toxic based on what move is clicked here, because you can burn with the Flare Blitz. Good move to go Flare Blitz there for the damage. And the Roost on another hill, slack off. Okay, yeah, definitely expected. That Sand and Toxic is definitely going to do a lot to Lil Star there. Lil Star is out, Friday morning is in, Flare Blitz is on, that is gone. Rocky Helmet and Sand Chip is going to do a lot, but the Charizard is effectively 6-0ing the team. The Sash is there, but the Sand is gone. The Sand is gone. The Flare Blitz is doing a heck amount of damage. Having to switch out there. The crit is gonna hit and knock out Red Rocket. Xanahoria comes in here. Xanahoria. Either way, Rat Mouse is in. Rat Mouse is now. Rat Mouse is out. Okay, so effectively pretty much scouting. Seeing what would come in. Taunt on Coco is really big after having the Heal Bell revealed. Very, very big. Critical hit, very, very big damage. So both can 2-hit KO under the Sand. No? Yeah, that wasn't going to 2-hit KO. And the Roost on there. So Knight's keeping the team healthy. Fled Up is up and gone. Eject button is nice. Would have been nice to have that done earlier with the Excadrill. I Ain't Your Mama does a dodge, and the Icicle Crash is doing a lot. So this is likely Spidef, I think. Rock Tomb, another rock move miss. Unfortunate for Ketch. Yeah, This one didn't matter though. Just saying, RIP rock types, yeah. Now just for lore. That is funny. But I love the considerations built up by this. And the lead seat is in. So nice. U-turn, getting that lead seat off. Electric move probably would have killed there too. So allowing this to see another day potentially, but getting the damage off. So I think Ketch knows that this is gonna go down sooner or later. Damage is damage, and damage is good. And the U-turn taking off a good chunk off the Nokia. This Stone Edge, I want to say that's a Band-Aid. So Earthquake is gonna take that out. Tangrowth comes in, and Zard Y comes in to be sacked. I'm sorry, Zard X. Mamoswine comes in here. That's down. And for the kills, for the lore, for the plot, Mamoswine gets those dropped. So very nicely played by Knight. I want to say this Zard was crazy working to catch. Let's go over Ketch's team here. Bandit T-Tar, I'm sure, based on that damage, just knocking out Mandy. I would have thought it'd been maybe something to avoid Raichu sweeping into them, depending on like their coverage and whatnot. Because this does have Side Shot to hit onto what it needs to better, but this is defensively weak. So Psychic at +2 might have knocked that out, but we've seen Eject Button, which was really nice. Kamina, nice Focus Sash tech. It almost got the kill. If it had been sand, like one more sand turn, it would have got the kill on Zard. But that's hard to position into that. So very well done. Zard almost dang near killed itself, but it was doing its things on its own term. Skarmory here didn't get to do anything. Rocky Helmet did get procced. Heal Belt was a nice bring, a very nice bring, especially in tandem with these guys who hate status. Any type of burn that could have gotten off on these guys as well. Very nice, very clutch. I can only expect the last move was maybe Wish or coverage. Heal Bell, Wish, Moonblast, or some, yeah, recovery maybe. Iron Defense, Scald, Slack Off. Didn't get to do what you would want it to do based on Zard of all things, right? Like Zard being the counter to Mega Bro. Crazy work. Elite Seed, Rock Tomb, Earthquake. Alright, so for two reasons here, I gotta give this heat. Rock Tomb is good coverage, but overall, it's Rock Tomb, right? And the eject button is nice. Like, it's pretty standard on regenerator mons, especially into this here. Like, effectively, it didn't get to do anything effective, so that kind of fights against its heat consideration. So I don't think I could give it heat consideration fully. But yeah, the thought was there for sure. The eject button was nice. Man, T-Tar. So well done, well played. Into the boy Knight here. Rat Mouse just showed up and showed out. As in going out and doing nothing. You know, that one person who shows up and is just ready to leave. Coco. Zanoria. Zanoria. Zanaria. Whatever. Yeah, this thing was doing some work. It only clicked T-Bolt twice, but the U-turn and the taunt, effectively shutting down Clef, and just taking a hit and then healing it off, went crazy there. I don't think enough to give it heat, but Zard here, I want to say this was pretty heat in the matchup. I'm gonna give this a heat rating of 1. Yeah, it's sub Bruce Toxic with Flare Blitz, but just the effectiveness, I would say. I mean, is it heat or is it just, it's just bulky for the most part. Actually, I'm taking away that. You can keep the heat on the tail and when you mega. So very well played. A lot of pivots, U-turn, 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 T-Bolt, Roost. Yeah, as far as this match was played, this match in itself is heat. Like, I can't give it to the individual mons, but the players themselves, yeah, they did that thing. So let's move on to the last game of week 6 thus far. All right, so we have ThatOneGuy, coach of the Arc9ers, versus Kev.inc, coach of the Boston Snorlax. So this is week 6. I don't believe I saw this one yet, or if I did, that's crazy. Extra content, whatever. Let's see. So Staraptor looks really good here as far as their dual coverage, meaning, like, you know, it's secondary typing, which is fighting when it megas. But it's basically a mega. Into this team, it goes kind of crazy. I can see Gligar being the dedicated switch into this, because effectively you're doing a lot of damage regardless of what your ability is. If it's Brave Bird, very nice, very dope. Absol is mega here. I think it goes nicely into the team. It can run mixed or even special, having Ice Beam to deal with the likes of that. It has Psychic, Air Slash, I believe, Focus Blast, Close Combat maybe in this generation. I don't think so. I might be tripping. Superpower for sure. So that's pretty great. I do think they lead Gliscor. Look, they're here. Fam. Webs is actually really good into the team. Their only means of getting that off is Gligar. So Gligar is going to be putting in heavy work, switching into this, and also getting off Webs. Umbreon looks pretty nice into here. In case Toxic, you got the Heal Bell if you need be. Foul Play into Kyurem. Kyurem shouldn't one-hit KO this, even with Z-move maybe. So that's there. And if you have Protect, you mitigate Z-move damage. There's Z-Captain. I don't recall what it is. Azu could be very, very dangerous after a Belly Drum. Venum does have screens it could set up possibly for that. Webs do look nice. Webs do look like priority. Custap could be very nice into this. This could lead, have Sash. This could lead also. If we're going leads, if we're talking leads here, Scarf, this looks nice. Scarf, Kyurem. I can see an immediate Gligar lead actually. Like Gligar is doing a lot of work into a lot of these defensive mons, kinda. Checking them, getting rid of what they're doing, maybe throwing off a Toxic and a Taunt or two. Only having one move, maybe knock off. I can see this as a lead though too. So let's go into it. Let's do it. Terrakion, Porthos, and Harura. Gliscor, Gold Ship comes in, activates the Toxic Orb, gets out, maybe keeping the Sash intact. Earthquake comes on Genom, whatever. We're getting it on with the Ice Beam, and the Lefties is there. The Fusion Bolt is not gonna spare it, but only, yeah, it spared it. Fusion Bolt, double down onto Harura. And so, yeah, this is where it's hard, right? So you're counting on this to come in and probably get rid of Webs, giving the +1 to the Sakura. If that is okay, so that's very well actually. Instead of sacking anything else, I think that was very smart by Kev here, because Gligar could go down, but if this does get the Belly Drum, you do have the chance to set up on something like a +1 choice locked Blacephalon. Otherwise, you wouldn't go this after it dies, because Shadow Ball is a option. So I do think this is going to Belly Drum and be a goddamn problem. Umbreon can revenge kill it by being faster and having Foul Play though, I believe. Depending on the item. So, oh, that just kills straight up. So Intimidate comes in, Magnezone comes in, Stay plus, and Sky Strike is gonna do only 20. So Mihiro gets out of there. And the Hidden Power, nice. So that was a good mid-ground play. Hidden Power Ice, likely, being very good. Like, yeah, you have Electric move, but that's built to come in. So very well read. Snoop Frog gets hit by the Shadow Ball. Pretty good mid-ground play, just in case Flamethrower came in. It didn't want to get stuck into it. So calling the bait of you don't have anything to hit me, maybe? Or, oh wait, you switched that in. Yeah, so Fire was smart, but Shadow Ball, there is no switch-ins. And you now have a +1 Sakura into Captain Bun Bun. So Captain Bun Bun's gonna go down, give a +2 to the Beast Boost Clown. Porthos possibly has the Scarf. Nice. Choice Scarf on the Terrakion. So Super Creek is gonna get off the Wish. Flash Cannon here. Foul Play is gonna do some pretty decent damage. Some drops here would be nice, but you do have the Wish, and this is gonna just get chipped down. So you can only hope to chip down, maybe come in with the big boy here and CC it. So getting the CC off early. The Foul Play +1. Ooh, nice. All right, so you're +1 speed or neutral speed. Anything should hurt here. Oh, but you do have the Intimidate. But anything should hurt. And your Flynium. Oh. So you did outspeed. You could have got the kill here. Because Flynium Z was revealed, and you were faster than Sakura. Whether this was Scarf or not, if it was Specs, it was Specs, but you still outsped. 344, 346. So, like, we know your Scarf. We know your Flynium. You switch out. I mean, it shouldn't matter here. You go down to that. So, possibly, yeah, you avoid Toxic. The Foul Play is there. The Wish is up. So we go Terrakion here. So this has to get Toxic stalled out or Close Combat stalled out. So another CC is gonna 2-hit KO. And then I think you do have to, oh. Yeah, you just don't want to get the protect, whatchamacallit. I don't know. Well, we get the freeze, so is that pretty much GG unless thought? You get the Z power, this does get the kill. So Sub-Zero Slammer knocks you off. Very rude, yes. Oof. So very well played. I think Kev probably could have won earlier, but they played it safe. And, you know, that got them the dub regardless. Let's go over that one guy here. So we didn't get to see Vega come here. Gold Ship. Are these Gundam references? No, right? I don't remember. I remember he told me, but I don't recall. It's been so long. But yeah, Absol went down. Didn't even get to Mega, I believe. This went down to a good read, good coverage, mid-ground play. This is pretty standard. This was a beast booster. See what I did there. Flynium Z U-turn, Sonic, and Sticky Web. So pretty standard. Kev ran through it with webs on the floor as well. So very well played by Kev. We see the Sub-Zero Slammer, Ice Electric coverage. Vinu just went down 2-tapped. This got 2-tapped as well by the +1 Cephalon. This just showed up to get knocked out. 2-tapped again. Terrakion Porthos was definitely the somewhat of an MVP here. And the Flash Cannon Hidden Power T-Bolt, very nice. Switching up those moves and getting that read in. So very well played, good game. No heat to see here. But yeah, that is week 6 of the games that we have. And you know what? I think y'all deserve a week 6, 7. So we're gonna throw up 3 more games, review those, and go right into it. All right, here we have Manual TMT, coach of the Dorella Dons, versus Knightf3op. Now, this is week 7 starting off here. We have the Rotom fan and a lot of other nasty boys here. You got the Barbie boy. I don't believe this is... I'd be tripping to say this wasn't Mega Diancie. I'm pretty sure it is Mega. You got the Landorosu. You got Infernape. You got Hydreigon. Just a good bag of mixed mons that can have the option to hit either or. Versus a very familiar team. I believe this was the same team from last week that was brought. Very effective. Was there Starmie last time? Maybe something in place of Starmie, but we did see boom, 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 boom. Raichu was here last week. So, just a change of pace. I think Starmie goes crazy here. It does have access to Dazzling Gleam. Has access to Dazzling Gleam, Hidden Power, Surf. You have Ice Beam as well as Psychic. So Starmie can go crazy here, picking off kills. Being faster than, I believe, everything here naturally. What is this? Base 110 speed? This is 109, 108. Or am I thinking of both its special attacks or attacks? 103, 105 maybe. Zard looks pretty nice into here too, depending on the set. Special Zard especially, or mixed with the Earthquake and whatnot. Toxic goes crazy onto Rotom Fan. Mamo just goes crazy Earth or Ground, and Ice type just hits the whole team effectively, while Pharaoh doesn't resist either of the dual stab. Coco, it's Coco. Knight plays Coco very well, so I can give regard to that. Scizor here. Bullet Punch does threaten a lot, even though it's resisted. It can KO Infernape that's weakened, especially if this is boosted. And Mandibuzz, if it has Toxic, nice. Very good for it. Let's get right into the leads here. Lead Infernape is nice. Choice Scarf Infernape does have access to Gunk Shot to hit this. Close Combat, Stone Edge, Fire Move, as well as U-Turn. So I do think that's a great lead. Alternatively, you could lead the Landorosu, but you do have things you have to watch out for in the other leads. Diancie is just a overall good, maybe mid-ground lead into switching something into Mamo. But yeah, Mamo is a issue here. So let's get right into it. I think the lead from here is Ape. Versus anything you want to go. Coco likely. Alright, so we see the Mandibuzz lead and the Diancie lead. So, fearing both dual stab, Diancie gets off the Stealth Rock immediately. And then Scizor gets the U-turn off into Rotom. Great switching. Resists the dual stab from Scizor as well. Getting another U-turn off right back into Scizor. For the Will-O-Wisp burn. So this thing stayed in and got the burn off on Roxas. So Defog is going to get rid of the rocks. Not in this generation will it get rid of the terrain. You got the Leech Seed off. The Landorus is here. The Zard is X'd. And it gets the speed up on it. Switching right out into Mandibuzz here on the Earthquake. Good read. Into that. Maybe nothing for Mandy. Could even be Scarf. And Ice Beam on Pharaoh does Jordan amount of damage into Scizor because it is very weak. It is Rocky Helmet, so pretty defensive. I can see this having roost. Yep, there's roost. So it's going to get chipped down. This is going to get pretty healthy. Avoiding any kind of protect shenanigans in a double-double. Triple-double. U-turn. Rocky helmet. Get damage. So just a whole bunch of chip here and there. Diamond Storm is going to do half. Boosting up that defense and getting up out of there. Not sure if Moonblast would have killed. But yeah, a lot switching around. It's 15, 16 turns in, and chip is all around on Knight's team mostly, I believe. Scizor is at half. Roost here will bring it up to 96, but then aerial ace coverage, nice. So I think that's where Breloom. This is where Knight picked up Breloom, or the prior game. So that's very good coverage, because otherwise this could get walled, maybe, or stalled. Okay, Roost again here. The switch in for Infernape is likely Mandibuzz, but Mandibuzz will go down to almost any hit here. So big recoil on that. Keeping that around. Flare Blitz, even for even more recoil, that's smart. Bringing it into the 23 Jordan range. And great doubles by Knight here. Great doubles. So they're going to have to go into this. Flamethrower comes off, and that is going to be a 2-hit KO. Not risking the Scarf. Stone Edge. Okay, so I do believe that confirms the Scarf for me in this instance. Unfortunate missing those rock attacks. And yeah, the miss is kind of crazy. Unknown what kind of item this is. The crash is here. The crash is now. The flinch is there. And he's like, wow, yeah. So there is the protect. We get the reveal of protect right there. And Zard X is in. So depending on what item this is, it's at 100. That could be really scary for Manuel here. Rocks into the DD is this Scarf. Not even going to mess around and find out. CC is going to be a double down because of the Rocky helmet onto Moondibuzz. So nice job there. Hydreigon comes out here. A Starbuck is there. Ice Beam doing about half. U-turn's not going to kill it. Dark Pulse definitely would. Probably scared it out. So I think if this is Scarf, it's revealed there based on that U-turn. Trying to get the momentum, scaring it out with a Dark move possibly onto Coco. But yeah, Starbuck switches out. It's going to get Lazard James in here with the Elite Seed. And the Flamethrower is going to down that. Not even worrying about protecting. Diamond Storm's going to get that knocked out. No boost. Starmie comes in, likely to get the remaining sweep off. I believe Rocks plus maybe kills here. I doubt it, actually. Bro, can you go away? All right, so there's the U-turn. So yeah, Surf is going to be able to clutch the game if need be. Wow, that went down. And Mamo is here. He wants to kill with the Moomoo. So very well played again by Knight. I think they both played this extremely well. With the way they were pivoting around and also doubling. I think this was phenomenal by both players here. Getting into each other's head effectively. And getting off the rocks that he did not like from here. So those rocks off was very big for Knight here. Manuel did get chipped down very well. Initially, I think the momentum was in their favor with the burn, the seeds, and then just having all the U-turn pressure as well. But it was also brought in the same vein here. You got your 3 U-turns. You got your U-turn, Volt Switch. Likely U-turn on Scarf set here. So very well played. Let's go over Manuel's team. Standard. I like the coverage. Didn't really do much. Standard. So standard. D-Dance mixed was very nice actually. Could be for the speed. What in the world? Could be for the speed boost. Pretty nice flamethrower, doing mad crazy damage, doing half to Lando, and knocking that out. I can't necessarily give it heat just because it's on the special side. Special Zard X is a thing in some calcs, but very well considered. I shard Stealth Rock, standard. So very good game. Another amazing game played by Knight in their opponent here. So lovely game. Let's go on to the next one. All right, game 2 of week number 7. We have ThatOneGuy. Very familiar team. I do think this was the same team, bar Jellicent here. I know it's not Jellicent, Neil Lego. And maybe Rotom. I don't remember seeing these two. But amazing core. Like, when they drafted, I can't speak on this enough. But, yeah, they got a amazing defensive core. Very good. Then we have the Crimson Shurikens off of Saf's team, Sapphire, SpeedSapphire, if you're nasty. With the Mega here, okay, Absol was on the last one, I believe. It was Absol. This is the same team, though, I believe. Because I think Celesteela, if not that, it was something else. But yeah, just another bulky squad. Like this bulk versus this bulk is crazy. And then their offense plus this offense does go crazy here. I think they have the initially scarier offense because you have the reckless boost, you have the beast boost if killed, beast boost if killed. You have the Moxie here, and then you have just low punny, doing low punny things. Like you're getting free damage with fake out into anything because you have Scrappy. Then you have the Celesteela, which does have beast boost. Or it could just necessarily be another type of Pokemon. I could see the Rotom being a lead here, having access to Will-O-Wisp, Scarf, could do a lot. You do have Aromatherapy as well as Hillbell here, so could be pretty crazy going off. This is a great pivot into the bulk that is here as well. Leading off, I could see maybe Lantern, because Gliscor is likely lead here because none of these guys could do anything unless Ice Beam. Ice Punch, it doesn't really care based off its bulk. Protect, knock off. Let's see. Yeah, I think the lead for ThatOneGuy here is Gliscor. And maybe Rocks can do some stuff, but maybe not. This is a good switch in for that. So they might try to counter each other knowing that. But yeah, Gliscor lead here, maybe Mega Lopunny off rip. So we see the Florges, the Staraptor. I am wrong. Sakura, and I think they have a Sakura. Yeah, Sakura X Sakura. Ida comes in here on the U-turn from Ardan. And the Akaberry into the, just kill. One hit KO on the Sakura. On the Spidef. So that's likely to die. So you lose your boost. Volt Switch is going to be free into the Volt Absorb. Super Creep comes in on Koda's Toxic, and the Synchronize is going to make that happen. So this does have Heal Bell, and does that have Heal Bell? It has the Wish. I believe it would have Heal Bell. So Sakura comes in, Toxic on Toxic. So Moonblast is going to go into Bourbon here. Mihono Bourbon. And you have the Wish Pass into the Ida. Rotom, where's your nickname? Where's your nickname? Leech Seed, Protect, nice on the Spidef. So you do take a Volt Switch pretty well, and they probably know that. But overall, just going to go into this. So Heal Bell. I mean, Florges is good. You only have so many Heal Bells, though, unfortunately. Being the faster one in the Heal Bell war does kind of hurt, especially with the faster Volt Switch. But it's scary to bring in Gliscor there because of the coverage Lantern has. So Cresselia comes in onto Bourbon's Toxic, and a whole lot of Toxic-ish from that one guy. And I think that's very well done by that one guy because it's wasting your Lantern's turns for Healbell. So set reveal is Protect, Wish, Toxic, can have Healbell, can have Foul Play, likely Foul Play. So the poisoning gets cured. The Volt switch into Ida. Yep. So that is good. That's big because you chip this down into the half range almost. And Heavy Slam, getting some chip off into the non-leftovers Rotom. So they switch in this all the time. Like, okay, cool. And this seems like a pretty good Vortex by Saph here. Like that one guy is fighting definitely very well. The only means of recovery you have is Wish and Leech Seed. So there's a Leech Seed on that. Possible Protect or another Leech Seed. So Protect is there. Lantern's move here into a Fear of Earthquake or Protect. Okay. So scouting it out. Do we see the item? We do know it's lefties. Toxic is another move off. Scald is going to do about half, but you do have the Poison Heal. So sub Poison Protect. Okay. So this could be very good pressure, but it is walled. It is hard walled by Celesteela. So knowing that, Ida comes in. And you could stall out the Heavy Slam. But good move, just in case that came in. I do think Protect is good here. The Volt Switch won't do much. You could send out another Leech Seed. But Lantern's going to be the move once again. So Rotom washes here into the double. So Volt Switch, because they didn't want to keep taking that rocks damage. So Wish is the move here. Celesteela is free to heal off the Power Gem, which does a Jordan amount of damage. And Staraptor is here. Likely getting a whole bunch of Leech Seed chip. Those Protects are going to whittle down very shortly. But yeah, everything's getting whittled down on that one guy's team. Coda needs a good Wish. I think he definitely wants to keep this around. Especially for all the Heal Bell. So there's a Wish into them. Staraptor gets back up to full. So Lantern is the move here. It is at a Jordan amount of damage. Going to be able to survive and be able to be healed. Now Lantern has a fat HP stat. So the Wish isn't going to heal up as much. Basically just the view of it. Heavy Slam, getting good damage. That's going to be able to 2-hit KO, depending on if it's a roll or not. And they do get the KO. Nice. So they get the +1 in SpeedSapphire. Rotom, you stay in, right? Okay, good. So you get the Heavy Slam. If it's Pain Split, that's going to suck. Leech Seed miss is big, very big. But we get the Leech Seed here. And Protect is always a move here, I'm sure. Yep. So you turn into another Leech Seed. Yes, another Leech Seed missed though. Unfortunate. So they do have to switch out. The Hydro Pump is there. It's going to be able to 2-hit KO. Oh, wait. No, it's not. Not with the lefties. So Volt Switch. Going on into turn 54 into Spinner. So Spinner can't effectively Earthquake here. So the move is going to be Stone Edge onto Gold Chip. So Low Punny has yet to come out here, I believe, right? So it is a pretty bulky team matchup. Umbreon going down means the team gets whittled down over time. And the hard wall to Gliscor is now down. So Poison is free. So that going down could definitely be big for Saph here. Same with Coda. Coda here is going to be, I think, slower. Yeah. So that one guy is definitely glad Celesteela is gone. It is now a evenish game. Kaguya comes in with the magic coat just to avoid the toxic damage from the boy because your whole set's revealed. Alright, so toxic is now going to be free. So it's going to be a different pace of game from here, I believe, depending on how Gliscor gets played. No Ice Beam on this. So you are effectively walled because you cannot heal off the toxic. So turn 6-7. And yeah, that one guy giving some backstory to knowing how Stilla works pretty well. Toxic on this is going to be nasty work. Triple Axle is not a thing yet. Sakura is going to go down to the poison here off the earthquake, and the low punny is in. So low punny here does get back up to full, but now there is toxic. So Ice Punch is there. Going to be able to sub and protect and just be overall annoying. The classic toxic stall Gliscor. Like Coda was so big into Gliscor here for real. As well as Celesteela. Like this being alive was probably the biggest bane into Saph. It is now back at full. We see the toxic, you just toxic spam. Healing here is just only going to prolong, unfortunate. Based on them, they could just click toxic to avoid any other PP drops. So yeah, that needs to break in order for Crocodile to do anything, or Low Punny. So the good thing is Kaguya is slower. If it does go down in this next turn while breaking the sub, that's good for them. So the Moonlight there is smart because this just breaks, right? No! You should have went for the sub break, I think. I think the sub break was a move there. Granted, you still get like protect stalled and whatnot. Yeah, I think it's Jover from here, my guys. And Saph showing its love for the Gliscor. Yeah, sucks to see. I love using Gliscor. You're a monster. So we will skip some turns here because this can only heal in front of it, and yeah, we're gonna go down. Earthquake, sub, earthquake. Gonna die to the toxic here. The sub goes down though, but at full HP, there's not much you could do here, especially as choice locked, if choice locked. So Stone Edge is gonna be its best play, and Spinner is going to get spun into another toxic pool. So, spoiler alert, I don't think Gliscor goes down. So, GG's from Saph here. Fair, yeah. So, that one guy takes it with the toxic stalling. Very well played. A lot of toxic. Toxic there, toxic here, toxic there. And who knows here. Very well played. Like, I think there was a big momentum shift. Like, Saph got a good vortex off earlier, but there was somewhere in there that Lantern got too low. Forced to Hill Bell come in a lot, and Ida as well. So I think staying in maybe on one of the vault switches, because you do have a higher SPDF stat somewhere in there, just to get off some more pressure, more chip. Um, Possibly even hazards could work over here. All right, so going off standard, 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 standard. Uh, Again with the Magic Coat, didn't come in clutch necessarily. Unfortunate. Would have loved to see Ice Beam coverage if it does have it, especially for this, because the only way you deal with this is like a hidden power or Ice Punch. Like it doesn't necessarily one hit KO it, uh, and you have to worry about just this other stuff. Lantern with the Scald is nice overall, but not enough to kill that, right? So okay, so next, last game for this week, we have the Count, aka Kev.inc, coach of the Boston Snorlax, and we have I've Loved Bills, Masq19, coach of the New York Masquerades. All right, so this is gonna be a Mega Scizor on this team here. A very scary team on Mask's part here. You do have amazing coverage from Nidoking. You have Victini there with again amazing coverage. Halucha that could be on a seed and bum off the Mystic Terrain, having a +1 in SPDF. I don't likely see too many SPDF moves coming in here, but either or, you still have the speed advantage. Granted, you are naturally faster than everything here, provided nothing's on a Scarf. Nidoking does mad damage here with everything that it does have, especially if Life Orb. Lights look like the switching on it if it is special. And you have Latios. Mega Scizor does Mega Scizor things. Burn is gonna be null and void. I could see Akaberry on Scizor here. Under Terrain, if this is Extender, that's nice as well. Because nothing really appreciates a burn if it can get burned, that is. But mainly this, and you'll still get burned because you are a flying type. You don't hit the ground, so if you do get hit by Sacred Fire and that 50% does choose to burn your ass, you will get yeah, you'll get burned. Other than that, Hoopa looks really great into the team here. Just doing damage, likely able to 2-tap anything with its dual stab. Coverage as well, being nice. I can even see Trick Room Hoopa doing some crazy stuff here. Granted, you don't have the best defense, and into Scizor or Halucha, even Victini, that could be nasty. Like U-turn on 3 Mons. This doesn't have flip turn yet. I don't even know if this has U-turn. I don't think so. Venusaur, Mega Venusaur is actually really nice here with the Hidden Power Fire, and you have Earthquake. You don't have Earth Power. So it could do some decent damage for sure. Azu here. I wonder what kind of set this is. Offensive, yeah, it could work. Especially under Trick Room, that would be amazing. Or Tailwind, if this does have it. The score, very good for the likes of Halucha, Scizor, maybe even some instances Victini if it doesn't have Glaciate. And yeah, as far as leads go, I could see a lead on... Nothing looks nice. I think this has Gunk Shot, so this could be a nice Gunk Shot lead. If you do need to pivot out of Scizor, you do have Gligar or Entei. Scizor does have access to knockoff though as well. Could also lead in just Mega. Their lead here, I see Latias or even Victini, of course, Premier lead or Scizor. Nido is nice too. Anything could lead on their team. So we see the Gligar lead, Sugar versus Victini. We got the U-turn off into Nidoking. Another U-turn into the Azu. So, the Aqua Jet knocking that out. Nice. Captain Bun Bun gets its gun and fires off on the Nidoking. Richard Picante, Spicy Dick, comes in on the Scizor, Rocky Helmet onto the U-turn, or U-turn onto the Rocky Helmet, and the Surf on Beef Jones. And we see the reveal of Lefties in the Life Orb, doing some pretty decent damage, honestly. Body Slam not going to get the paralysis off, but doing a decent chunk and taunt. So, not sure what this means here. Likely knockoff. Ooh, knockoff doing a good amount on Lottie. So going right back into this. Dedicated switch-ins from Kev's part here. Very good, very well. The good damage on that. Protect for the scout, good stuff. So they could assume here that it is likely choice locked, but it is not. So the Rocky Helmet, nice. Good, just good damage. Very good. Sunny Day. What do we see here? The Sunny Day is dope. That's a lot of damage still. Body Slam's gonna be able to do half of that damage. So Sunny Day could be really good. If this wasn't Mega, Chlorophyll could go crazy here. Although outsped by Unburden, if procced, I think that was pretty good. Sunny Day also just giving a big damage buff and mitigating any water damage, but you do have to worry about the V-Create here damage. Like, I don't know if you have Switch in now, but you also have a weakened Aqua Jet if need be. But you are, I believe, banded maybe? Like, Nido doesn't have the best defenses. But yeah, that was amazing. Let's see what the move here is. Body Slam, no Paris still. That hidden Misty Terrain going off. V-Create, and the sun is gone. So I do believe you might live, which you do, because thick fat, no body shame. And Beef Jones is beefed up. So it's going to stay in on the Draco Meteor, which I believe might have killed based on earlier damage, or not, actually. But unfortunate miss, that could have been big. And the dedicated switch in to Halucha is in. So Aerial Ace is very nice. The Entei with the Rocky Helmet gets damage off on Scizor, bringing it almost down to 50. So very smart move. I love the way Kev plays their Entei. Their team overall is very nice. So lead seed on that. Do we see the Hidden Power Fire? Hidden Power Fire, yes, we do see it. But we also see that this is slower than this. So this likely has some speed investment, or this just has none. Or this could just be a negative nature because of the dual typing. I mean, the coverage. So I can suspect that this is a negative speed nature because you do have the big damage, hidden power, and the likely big damage knockoff. So U-turn there. Gonna save Scizor. Hidden power is gonna be another hit into it. Alright, Giga Drain getting off a little bit of chip health. U-turn again. That was risky because they do have the Rocky Helmet. Maybe they are trying to sack it. Infinity doesn't have anything to hit Venusaur super effectively, I believe. Mega Venusaur goes crazy. So we do see the Spadef boost. We do see the Gligar. We do see the SD. This is going to be enough at +4. Aerial Ace doing half damage. And they have to attack here, getting the kill on Sugar, their first Mon down after 31 turns. Entei comes in here, getting the Rocky Helmet chip. And the Azu probably going to be enough to take that out. So likely to switch into Venusaur here. Nice. And I believe these Mons stay in. I don't think Hoopa comes out. Taunt is there, so we can see the Giga Drain doing half damage to Finny and likely going to be able to knock it out with a high roll. Spatak drops. So Finny says, nah. So there might be a switch coming out, but GG from Masq here. Very well played. Very well played. Like, their team was such a threatening team. Yeah, the Draco miss was unfortunate. Could have got a kill off, possibly, or at least got it low enough to get a revenge kill later, somewhere down the line. Nitto didn't get to do anything. V-Create on this. I wonder what item this was. Did some crazy damage with the Zen Headbutt. So nice. Pretty standard. Misty Seed, U-Turn, Surf, Shock, Draco. So Surf was nice. For Entei and Gligar, if they did go Ice Beam, which, am I tripping? Yeah, this does get Ice Beam. Wouldn't be able to hit both Gligar and Entei without dropping its special attack to a Draco Meteor. So I do like that coverage, especially with the Life Orb. Very well done. Taunt, Surf, Finny. So mostly standard here. Great coverage consideration based on the team matchup. Going into Kev's team here, the Sunny Day Rocky Helmet. This was heat. I only saw Sunny Day, so I really wish I saw more from it. The Rocky Helmet is nice, very nice. If I saw more from it, definitely probably would have given it some heat rating. U-Turn, Aerial Ace, Snorlax went crazy. It just came in, scouted, body press, Earthquake, good coverage. Hoopa was just a bench warmer. Very well played by the Snoop Frog. And Captain Bun Bun clutching kills every time it came in, making you clutch your pearls. So good games. We had 7 games here. Week 6, 7. Hand signs, whatever. Yeah, dope stuff. So week 8 will be coming to you very shortly. And then we will have playoffs. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to everybody who will be playing. Unfortunately, I didn't get to get my week 7 game in. I believe my opponent had some other things to take care of, but hope everybody's doing well. And yeah, keep playing, have fun. See you next one. Peace.